Hey, internet friends. This is Danielle Pierce back at it again. It's just after 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in, being on time, leaving comments, hitting the thumbs up button. I appreciate all of that greatness. So let me go ahead and get started. So if you guys have not been paying attention, we are doing I call this the Day in the Life campaign. So essentially, it's 21 days of me going live answering one question with regard to property preservation. You can tune in each night right at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. We'll get into pros and cons of the industries, pitfalls, contractor shenanigans, launching your business, working with family and friends, and something we call the success gap. So this campaign is going to take us right into Black Friday, which I feel like is going to be right around the corner. Well, it is right around the corner. We'll be talking even more about the current state of the industry. What can you expect going into 2022? And we're going to highlight our most successful students of the year. So I'm really excited and looking forward to that campaign as well. So I like to do something called highs and lows at the beginning of each video. For those of you who pay attention and have been watching the channel for a while, it's something we started doing not too long ago. And essentially, you just share a recent high and a recent low for the day with regard to something great that may have happened, something not so great. All right, so I'll go first as always. Feel free to drop yours in the comments down below. So I'll start with a low. So I mentioned a few times that I'm working with a nutritionist for the very first time. I shouldn't say that, not the very first time. This is the most I've paid and the most extensive and exhaustive, uh, I guess you could call it a coaching program, right? It's I think it's 6 or 9 months that we'll be working together to kind of figure out my health from the inside out. And so prior in another video, I shared that my adrenals are basically shot. So essentially my fight or flight mechanism is not functioning properly. And that's due to, spending months and years in fight or flight mode. Your body just kind of taps out and is like, okay, well, shit, like we don't know we don't know what you want us to do. But in addition to that, my mood receptors are like super low, kind of like in the toilet. And my receptors to burn fat are also shut off as well. So she's telling me all this stuff. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I got so much work to do. But the fantastic thing about, the issues that she brought up is that one, I'm aware of them. And two, it can be fixed. Your body is always ready to tap in or step in and step up to the plate and kind of correct whatever imbalances you have if you give it the right things to do so. So I was excited about that. So that's a bit of a low. And a high, you guys, is that I am going to be a financial advisor. So I have been looking into this off and on for maybe 15 years or so. So I got my degree in accounting from U of I. I always hated accounting. I went into audit and public accounting as well, which were, terrible experiences. I haven't been working in accounting or audit since 2007, but I've always explored the idea of being an advisor off and on because I like the concept of it. It's sales, it's commission. I'm cool with that. I like the idea of being able to assist people with making shifts in their financial trajectory, upward shifts, obviously. And so I've played with it and looked into different companies over the years, but never really found a good fit. Lo and behold, I went to a mastermind event where were we, in Austin, Texas, not too long ago, connected with a lady there. She's also a mastermind member. She's a financial advisor, 15 years in. Her father was one as well. She does 7 figures a year. And Kayla, can you turn it down, please? Kayla, 1 second, y'all. Can you turn TV down? Thank you, dear. So she's already doing 7 figures per year, and we just met, hit it off. Long story short, so it'll happen probably before the end of the year. So I'm excited about that. So that's a high for me. So let's get back into this Day in the Life campaign, shall we? All right. Drop your highs and lows in the comments as well before I forget. A quick reminder, mark your calendars for Wednesday, November the 24th. Gonna have 5 hours to register for this amazing class at $1,497. That is $1,000 off the regular price. It's an additional $3,000 in bonuses that we're throwing in, and we ain't ever gonna have it this price again. That is a promise. All right. Or as my mother would say, that is a promise and not a threat. Yesterday, we talked about how long it'll take to get your money back once you invest into the program. So for those folks who invested $2,500, I said between 3 months, I think it's a good time frame. For those of you who invest $1,500, I'm expecting even better results from you because obviously you've invested a smaller amount, so the time frame should be shorter, right? That's the idea behind it. But today we're talking about money, specifically how much do you need to get started? So I want to run down this in a very concise way so that it makes sense for all of you. If you have questions about this, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'll circle back and get to it. All right. So the number that I have in mind that I always tell people is about $2,000, probably a little bit less, could possibly be more depending upon what city and state that you live in. And the $2,000 is for the following: your insurance, which is going to be $500 and up for a down payment. So you need general liability, professional liability, um, also called errors and omissions. You need something called non-owned auto insurance or a commercial auto policy. And all those insurances, that's probably not a word, all those insurance policies combined is about a down payment of $500. It could be more. The thing you have to know about insurance is that I think of insurance the way that I think about credit. Nobody really knows kind of the formula they use to come up with premiums. But if you got a criminal background, bad credit, you live in a hood, you got a bunch of insurance claims. And by insurance claims, I found out maybe like 5 years ago that having your car towed, if it's disabled on the side of a road, counts as a claim technically, right? So I don't know how many of you guys knew that, but I thought that was interesting. So it's very complex. So some folks have gotten insurance and they've paid like $200 down. And then other folks have gotten quotes where they've had to put down $800 to $1,000. So again, credit, background, in terms of criminal background, where you live, your prior claims history, how long you've been with the insurance company, is a variety of factors that go into that number. So please don't, it's not written in stone. In terms of business formation, so I have $100 to $500 for that. So if you live in Indiana to start an LLC, I think it's $95 or something like that. In Illinois, it's $150. And in New York, I think it's $500. California, I think is also $500. And of course, you have a bunch of other states in between where the pricing varies. So that number, can vary tremendously. You could do the LLC yourself. There's a site called inkforfree.com, which kind of walks you through it. Nav.com is also a really good resource as well. You can go to the Secretary of State's website on your own and do that way. Although there's some pros and cons to that as well. I'll get into that probably not in this video, but at another time. And then another option is to hire a CPA or a small business attorney to do it for you. So if you hire someone to do it for you, so you'll have to pay the state fee regardless, plus whatever their fee is. That fee, I can't say an average because people charge what they charge, but I would expect it to be at least $500 if they're going to be doing the formation paperwork for you and also doing an operating agreement as well. So that number could fluctuate quite a bit. And then, of course, if you're doing a sole proprietorship, which I used to recommend heavily in the beginning, I don't do it as much now, but those can be, if you're in Texas, it's $20 to set up a DBA and it's a same day process. So there's that. So I have $100 to $500 for business formation. So we're already at $1,000 between insurance and business setup. All right. Email and phone, I have that number as $100. Obviously, it's probably going to be a lot less, but the phone will be something like a Ring Central, a Grasshopper. You could use a Google Voice number, which is free. It varies. And then for email, same thing as well. You should expect to pay. I think you can pay $5 a month. But there's also sites where you can pay nothing to get branded email accounts. So it just depends on which option you utilize, but you will pay money for that at some point. All right. For your website, I would say no more than $300. It just needs to be a one-page website. We go through that in great detail inside of the program. Doesn't have to be this spectacular $5,000 to $10,000 or $20,000 site. It's not necessary. This is really just to have an online footprint, so to speak. So again, $200 to $300 for that. Inside the course, we have a referral for someone that I've referred a shitload of business to over the years. As a matter of fact, I think they've only reached out maybe once and they were like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I think they are, what country are they in? I know they're not in the US, but they're somewhere. So they're still getting a steady flow of work. So I expect that to continue because they've been putting out, consistent results for our students. And then the last thing is that you'll probably need some money for your initial supplies. So I prefer to have contractors supply everything. But you also could, buy the things yourself and kind of hand it off to them as necessary. But you will need some lock boxes, some deadbolts. What else will you need? Lock boxes, deadbolts, maybe some HUD padlocks. There's a few other like miscellaneous items that the tools to do a winterization, you'll need that as well. So the antifreeze that you utilize to winterize properties. So there's a variety of smaller expenses that kind of add up to a few $100 as well. Some of these companies that we were for our students too, they have what's called contractor starter kits. So it has like a set of keys, which you'll need to get into the properties, HUD padlocks, lock boxes, some contractor bags, things like that. So that'll cost you money as well. So that total comes out to about, like I said, $2,000. All right. Tomorrow, we're talking about whether or not you should quit your job to launch your business, or should you quit your job once you started your business and you're starting to make money. So I'm going to just tell you right now, my answer to that is going to be a very swift and confident hell no. But different strokes for different folks. We do have someone who has already quit their job. And actually, I'll be talking to her tomorrow, and I'll be sharing that interview publicly and putting it on the YouTube channel, because I think it'll be useful to hear from her directly in terms of why she did it, what the motivation was, how it's going, and kind of what prompted this decision to leave, a good paying job, right? So I don't think her husband is left yet. She didn't mention that, but we'll find out when I talk to her. So you guys, please stay tuned to hear directly from her and just see her thought process behind it. It'll be interesting to see. But again, my general recommendation is that you not do that. I don't think that it's a great idea. But again, it just depends on personality and what your goals are. All right. So again, reminder, November 24th, lowest pricing of forever for the course at $14.97. That's $1,000 off. We're also throwing in $3,000 in bonuses. And I still have, how many more days we got of this campaign? We're on day 4. So yeah, we got 17 more days where I'll be going live again, right at 7:00 Central Standard Time, sharing one tidbit and answering one question about property preservation. All right, let me just check the YouTube comments real quick and see if y'all got anything to say. Yvette says, congratulations on the new endeavor. I appreciate you. And Misha says, you're consistent in your delivery and your discipline. Thank you. I appreciate that, Misha. And hey, Shay, and hey, Sam. I appreciate y'all, okay? All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. I'm a little bit tired today. We do want to keep these videos at 10 minutes or less, which, that goal has been accomplished. I think so far, I want to keep that trend going. And as always, sending you guys love, light, peace, blessings, grace, and clarity. And I'll see you